There we go.
There we go. There we go.
All
What's
right.
up, Germany? How you guys doing? There we go. What up? What up? All right. So I had the request for today. First of all, thank you so much for having me today on this call. I'm definitely happy and grateful that I can actually be on here and actually provide a little bit more kind of like a breakthrough session with you guys, especially like mindset wise. As of course your guys leader, um, Tobias actually asked me, a little bit of mindset session, and we're gonna go into the Q&A as well. Now I can actually back up on the session or a recent Zoom call that I did with one of the French squad. Is a lot of people actually come to this company and have a big vision for themselves, and of course trying to be really really successful in this company, right? But the biggest problem is expectation, and I feel it, especially people that are in the beginner stage, they have a different expectation. Now of course, if you have somebody that is around you creating that expectation 2 3 5 years down the road who you really want to become, you're going to be well better than somebody that just saw what forex can do, let's say throughout the night, and then come from that mindset that they can make, let's say, a fast big gain inside of this industry. Those are usually the people that are going to be struggling the most. So the biggest thing that I'm actually going to be talking about today is a vision and expectations. Now let me just give you guys a little bit my background, how it started for me, and then how I really discovered the true potential of the vision and expectations. So when I started to trade and really going into this journey, I was always trying to get really good money really really fast as I could, right? And then because of that mindset, there was of course a big idea in my mind, and of course wish it was such a emotional charge to really go into the marketplace and to try every single day to take like one or two trades just to get some money in, because I really wanted to see or experience that lifestyle of like having a luxurious car, travel around the globe, all that fame and all that. And what was happening is more that I was allowing that mind to control over my actions, more and more struggles that I had throughout the trading journey. And the reason for why I'm saying this is because a lot of people actually go into the market every single day with that kind of mindset. And then a lot of people, especially today on the call, there were sorry, on the Go Live session, there was somebody saying like what I should do if I have three consecutive losses with 6%, and in total 6% in total, right? And especially it's okay if you have it on your own account, but when you start to have like an FTMO or any other founded account, that could be really problematic, and I agree. But the thing is, why those 3% or those three losses actually happen in the first place, that's where we really start to fixing the problem. Because if you have three consecutive losses and that losses may be happening, let's just say for example you reused and they happen yesterday in exactly the same day, then we have a big problem, because we tried to trade three times same pair, probably in the same direction, we got stopped out three times. So the problem is not 6% loss that we just did. The problem is that we have to learn to be disciplined. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when we are looking into the marketplace, and if we are consecutive, like if we have a consecutive losses in exactly the same pair, we really need to start to recognize when is the time to literally stop trading that pair and say, okay, cool, let the market do for today whatever it wants to do. I'll come back tomorrow with a little bit more clear head, right? Because again, if we're gonna just throw money into that pair and just trying to get it right, what we're actually doing, we're literally just shooting ourselves in the foot, meaning that we're actually over leveraging or over risking our trading account that we really shouldn't. And the reason why we're doing that, it goes really deep. It's because, of course, that urge of being successful, that urge of being profitable, that urge of having withdrawal every single week is actually forcing us to rush into the marketplace when then maybe it's not really the most ideal and clear indication whether the trade is there or not. And what I discovered is that a lot of times, right, we build that expectation, we build that vision for ourselves, that short-term vision that is actually forcing us into those type of scenarios. So when I recognized that, when I was working with a mindset of like, okay, I want to have like a $10,000 or 10,000 euro withdraw at the end of the month. Let's say we were half of the month in, and I barely have, let's say, 3,000 euros profit. That's where I start to feel that pressure of my expectation. Now it's okay, it's good to have that expectation, or to have that goals. That's awesome. But the thing is, with that, we're creating unnecessary pressure to ourselves. And that's when we're going to be really starting to put trades in the market that might not be the most ideal one, right? So for example, majors, EURUSD was kind of like in the consolidation for the last 3 to 4 days. And if you were trying to buy it, right, we were consistently seeing that the buys are getting wrecked, stop loss after stop loss after stop loss, right? And there has to be a line where we're going to be actually saying, you know what? No, I'm not going to be actually going to the next buy because I just had 2 losses in a row on trying to buy. Maybe there is a sell that is developing. But the biggest problem for the beginners is this, right? When we're looking into, let's say, Instagram, there's a lot of people that are posting the wins, that are posting profitable days, right? And they have different strategies. And, what we're actually starting to create is actually some sort of mental environment that we're starting to match our journey with somebody else's journey. Now, the thing is, we cannot compare our chapter 4 with somebody's chapter 8 because we don't know where that person lies in his journey. Okay, so for us, what is the best thing to do is actually focusing on ourselves. First of all, what we really have to expect is from us who we want to be down the road, 3 to 5 years. This is the vision that you have to create by yourself. What success means for you, what a successful trader means for you 3 to 5 years down the road. The reason why I'm saying this is because that vision is actually going to help you to go through those, let's say, red numbers or a bad weeks or a bad months. Because let's be real, even if you burn account today, that should not stop you to keep going and try again. It didn't stop me, and you can see after all that hurdle challenges where I am right now. I'm actually educated, and I'm actually in the Zoom call with you guys, literally telling you what I had to do and what I had to endure to be in this position. So again, I'm encouraging and inspiring all of you guys that even if you have a bad month, even if you have a bad week, even if you just burn your account, keep going. Because what really is engraved in my heart is a saying that trading is not going to solve your financial problem right now, but is the most important skill set for your financial future or financial freedom in the future. What it means that in the social media, right, we are getting that expectation from ourselves that if I'm going to go into a trading industry and I'm going to be learning from somebody, that I'm going to be successful in 3 months, and then after a year I'm already going to have 7 figures. And because of that expectation, what happened is that maybe you do some mistakes, you're not disciplined, you're not emotionally mature enough, and that's where you're starting to really fluctuate with your risk, and you start over leveraging just because you feel, okay, I have 2 losses. If this looks really clean, and I'm gonna be now risking 3 or 4% just so I'm gonna gain back what I lost, and then that happened, and now you're 10% in drawdown, or you just lost your FTMO. Those are the mistakes that you just have to do, right? I can be here and telling you all about this, but essentially you have to learn from it, right? We're literally imagining being a kid. I can actually tell you, that item is hot. Don't put the fingers on it because it's actually going to burn. But there's going to be a lot of you guys actually going to be go there and try if that's really hot, and then you're going to have blisters. But now you have understanding what hot really means. It it hurts, right? It stings, and then you have, of course, a finger that is all blistered and all that. But now you understand what really means touching a hot stove, for example. Exactly the same thing is happening over here, right? Now, the reason why I'm saying why we have to be emotionally mature and disciplined is, let's put an example. Let's just say that, for example, right now you don't know nothing about trading, like zero. and you just saw an ad on the Instagram about somebody just selling you a signal service, right? And you think, well, you know what? I really want to be having some more money into the market or into a bank account. I want to be having some more money. You pay that person whatever the amount of money he wants, and then you start following his trades, right? And let's just say after 2 weeks of being really successful, you were disciplined, you were in control, you risk 1% or 2% per trade, you saw some results, right? And you got really excited because you see that, okay, this really works. Now, what's going to happen? You're going to be starting to really try to expedite your profit margin, meaning that you right now, you're going to be starting to tweaking your risk. Instead of 1%, it's going to become 2%. Instead of 2%, it's going to become 3%. And that's where we really start to go into really a big loop of emotions. Because what can happen? Let's just say in third week, that person that is actually sending a signal might have a little bit of bad luck in the markets, right? And let's just say those people that actually send the signal out had 3 or 4 consecutive losses, which is it's normal, it happens. But because your risk, you're now down 10 to 12% or even more, and you burn whatever profit you did in the last 2 weeks and maybe even more. Now, whose mistake he really is in this case? It's ours, because we are starting to go out of our normal risk reward tolerance, right? So, and how look at the big example here. So let's just say the fourth week come, right, and we start to tweak even more risk reward, and we want to get back what we already lost, right? And what happened after a month? We burn our account. And how we have been programmed throughout, literally through the society, through the school system, that it's easier to point finger to somebody else for our mistakes or to our failures. So what we're going to do, we're going to tell our friends that that single service is bad because you just burned their account and they're not having the results they're claiming for. But they might have a positive month because they stay consistent with the risk reward. You, on the other hand, you were going down and up and sideways with the risk reward, and that end up in being a really, really bad month for you, right? So again, this is the biggest problem when somebody really starts to focus on trading and starting to be around, let's say, money when it comes to the trading, right? It's that emotional side of trading that is triggering us into different ideas, into a different plan of actions. So when it comes to the expectations, this is the biggest problem, especially in the social media, because we see people that have flashy cars, flashy watches, the clothes, the lifestyle, whatever. And we actually starting to have that urge of being successful or being same as them. But we don't know what type of life they're playing. Because, you know, there was there was a lot of people out there that they had rented cars, borrowed watches, you know, stuff that is really like you know, not the best influence. But the thing is, you know, we start to be attractive to those things because our egotistic self, we want to have that materialistic possessions, which is good, right? And it's nothing bad in that. The problem begins when we start to create that emotional environment for us, for ourselves, that it's really like we wanted to rush into having that tomorrow, rush to having that the next month. Now imagine, you know, you having throughout your life, right? You have been around, let's say, 5 figures, 4 figures, let's say 1,000, 2,000 euros per month, 3,000, 4,000 euros per month. That's your comfort zone. That's what you're capable of, you know, working with. And, you know, that's what it's like an everyday amount of energy when we're talking about money being an energy. Now, down the road, you do have expectation, of course, to become a millionaire, which is 7 figures. But you have to understand, you have this amount of energy that you can control. Let's just say that this is now your 4 figures, sorry, 5 figures, like 4,000, 5,000 euros per month. Now, seven figures, like 6 zeros, meaning €1,000,000, is this amount of energy. And all the challenges that you have right now are pretty much a growing period for you. You are expanding how much energy can you actually control. all the lessons that are there, losses, burning accounts, losing the FTMO, losing the found account, is there for you to grow, is there for you to mature, right? Because again, on the other side, I see a lot of people trying to get, 100% gain on the month or some random number. But let's be real. When I'm looking into the bigger picture here, where that urge, like a really, really big urge in this Forex industry came from to start doing like $100% growth on a month or 1,000% growth in 1 month, it's from the crypto world. Because there was a lot of people when market was bullish that were throwing market money into the coins, and market ran up, like we had Shiba and all those coins that went higher, and there was like 1,000% growth, 2,000% growth, right? Oh, if you would do like a $10 investment here, now you would have like a $10,000 here. What that created is that expectation that if we have a 20% growth on a monthly basis, that we are slow, that we are barely making it. But we're not aware that 20% on a month, we are actually performing a yearly percentage when we're comparing to some hedge funds, which is operating with billions and billions and dollars. And this is the fact that we really forget, right? And that's why this entire industry right now with the trading, was influenced by the thing that, oh, the Forex is so slow, right? We can't grow a big amount of money from the Forex because the crypto expectations were inherited into the Forex or trading environment. And what happened, I see this really commonly, because somebody was involved in the crypto and make a large amount of money there. Now, if they would go back and start trading majors, for example, and they will do 5% in a week, what they will do, they will think, well, this is so slow, like this, oh my god, my bank account is barely growing. And what they're going to do, they're probably going to go and start trading US30, S&P, just because the money goes a little bit faster there. But they are not aware that if somebody is having a consistent growth throughout the months, throughout the year, those people will have a steady growth for the rest of their life. Because I'm expecting from majority of you guys that now that you understand how to trade, you're probably going to be in some sorts of connection with the market the entire life. Like I have that expectation for myself that I'm never going to be going away from the charts because I love that stuff so much. But what's going to happen that down the road, the end game is definitely for me, for example, right, creating an active income, because trading isn't active. If I don't press the buttons, I don't have money coming in. Is then investing into something else is going to create a passive income. And that's that loop that I want to, of course, just put money in, so the more is coming out passively. But people don't understand that that's the end game, right? And what is really happening with this is that when you are in that mindset, they're really trying to just go with 7 figures and then what? Right? Okay, I now have a 7 figures and then what? But when you really, this is now, again, back to that line that I said, trading is not going to be solving your financial problems right now, but it's the most important skill set for your financial future for your financial freedom in the future. Is because, again, if I know how to, let's say, having 7 figures and then going out there and trying to invest in one stock, I will know when the market could be in the best position or which price of the stock might be the best thing to get in. And this is what is happening right now with the crypto world, right? For maybe over a year in the DCX package, every single Thursday, Jordan was saying that, and we were saying on the sessions as well, Bitcoin has to go below 30,000 because there is a lot of imbalance, especially if you guys understand the smart money. You go in the monthly time frame, there you go, it's all there. So, having that skill set, now you're laughing because everybody is now blinging the portfolio, right? Having a massive drawdown, where on the other side, you can literally just stack money on the pile and be ready when market is going to be in the best position. Bam, you're in. When other people are going out from the scarcity, closing massively 80% drawdown, like 80% of money in their portfolio gone, and they're starting to sell coins at the lows, That's where we scoop. That's where we scoop in. That's exactly what is happening into the forex, right? When other people get out, we get in. That's why it's so important that when you have this skill set down, you literally are capable of making whatever number is there for you. But again, it's not going to happen from today till tomorrow. You're going to have to have a realistic expectation. Realistic expectation, 10, 15, 20% per month. That's an amazing expectation. If you will have that for let's say 6 for 12 months, if you have that kind of portfolio, there's going to be no hedge fund, no trading firm in this world is going to say no to you because of your amazing portfolio. They're not searching for people that are doing 100%, flipping accounts, over leveraging. They're not looking for those. They're looking for those that have steady, consistent growth. Those are professional traders. Those are the people that have their emotions in control, right? So again, what I'm looking towards, giving you guys here from today's call is having the realistic expectation of who you want to be in 3 to 5 years. You can go there with money wise, you can go there with trading wise, leadership wise, whoever, by your standards, you want to be in 3 to 5 years. The reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of times, right, it helped me so much when I had challenge to be solved in front of me, trading wise, life wise, whatever. I was imagining who I want to be in 5 years. What is Rok doing in 5 years? Who that person is? How the Rok is thinking 5 years out in the road? What type of portfolio he's dealing with? And the reason why I'm saying this is because when you have problem, let's just say you have six losses in a row. Let's just say that 6 losses in a row, and you really don't know where to turn for the answer. Sit down in a quiet place and start thinking, what would I do 5 years down the road? What would that person tell me to do right now? The reason why you have to do this is because when you start thinking as a third person about yourself, you are pushing away the emotional state of your thinking. Because after 6 losses in a row, you're going to be in a bad mental state. Not the worst, but you're going to be starting to feel a little bit more anxious, depressed, anger, disappointment, sadness, all that is going to be flowing through you from the emotional standpoint. But if we really go there and starting to think about us in the third person, what that person will tell us, you might have the best genius idea of how to overcome this situation. And you're going to have, of course, an idea how to create a plan so you can then first get that money that you just lost back and then grow from that experience. Okay. And it helped me so much in the past because when I was, let's say, in a bad state at a time, the biggest people that I was looking up to was Jordan and Jason Brown. And when I was having a challenges, and let's say, for example, if I pick up the phone and call Jordan and he didn't pick up, or call Jason and he didn't answer, I was starting to think, well, if Jason would be here right now, how would he start to think about this solution? And when you start to think like that, right, you're going to be finding solutions easily. To give you like a really good example, imagine this. You probably would have been in argument in the past, having some argument with a person, and you said something, that caused that argument to go to a completely next level, and there was no solution being met. And then later that day, in the evening, you lay down in the bed and you were starting thinking about that argument that you had, and there was like 3, 4, 5 ideas into your head how that conversation could end up in completely different tonality, how you could be winning the argument with this person, how you could be finding a solution for the challenge or discussion that you had. And that's exactly what I'm saying over here, because you were emotionally detached of that. That's where your, let's say, logical mind came towards you, and that's where you start to really find a solution for that emotional, let's say, impact that you had previous in a day. And that's why I'm saying over here with you guys that when we have that mental vision of where we're going, who we want to be, it's going to be then easier to solve the solution, solve the challenge that we have right now. So we have in October, right? We have Dubai coming up, right? Big event, right? 70,000 people arena, Coca-Cola Arena is going to be huge. Start imagining who you will be in October. Who, let's say from the marketing perspective, are you going to be P1K, P2K, a chairman? Are you going to be having 10, 20, 50 traders in your organization that are going to be fully founded? Are you going to be fully funded for yourself? Right? And when you have that, even the challenge that you have, let's just say, for example, you have 10 losses this week. That decision that you decide who you will be in October should not be option to quit on just because you had a bad experience this week. Right now, what I'm doing is trying to inspire you guys to solve your challenges from a little bit more systematic approach. Learn from your mistakes this week or last week. And don't quit. Because quitters are never winners. They never will be. And down the road, you might be trying 10 times. So what? So what? Somebody will have success in the first try. Somebody in fourth. Somebody in 20th. Doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, you are going to be successful. As long as you don't quit. Right? And again, the mistakes that are going to be made, some of them people are going to be repeating them till they're going to be having that aha moment. I have been here. Because of these decisions, I burned 2 accounts already. There's probably a time that you start thinking a little bit differently and saying, well, I really shouldn't do this action because that result really, is not the best thing that I want to do. Right? So that's the worst thing that you have to experience. But again, been there, done that, and I'm literally giving you guys the roadmap with the mental picture of who you really want to become, right? Because again, you can go into the IM and using whatever strategy we have, because all of them are unique. All of them you can be successful, because the only difference between a successful trader and unsuccessful trader is people that really understand themselves, who they are. Amongst you guys, there are people that are more easy to see setups for a buy. Some of you guys are more easy to see a setups for sell. See the change in the character. Some of you guys are ready to trade on 1 hour. Some of you guys wanted to trade on 5 minutes. Up to you, right? Who you really want to become, what type of traders you really want to become. And start, the biggest thing what you really have to go away from is comparison, right? Comparing to each other. Because look at this. For example, what happened in my team? There was a guy that was really successful, really disciplined, really consistent on higher time frames, right? And there were, let's say, half of the team tried to scalp throughout the day, London Open, New York Open, 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, right? And they had some success as well, right? And of course, they were outperforming people that were doing long-term, 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily setups, right? And what happened is that there was a specific guy that was really going nuts on the lower time frame, right? Having an amazing result, and then the guys that were doing the high time frames were starting to listen to that guy and going and try to perfect the lower time frame. And it was really stressful for those people. And the people that were doing the higher time frame were having really steady growth, but because of that influence, they start to really see the fluctuation of the results because they were trying to make faster gains, something that was not really in their comfort zone, and they were starting to change the risk and all that. And what ended up happening in 3 months, they really saw that, well, this is not going the way that is kind of like expected. And that person that was doing the lower time frame, big results, yada, 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 burn account and quit. So now what happened is now people that were doing the higher time frame sacrificed 3 months, 4 months to listen to that person that is not even relevant anymore. But you have now a little bit of rubbish MetaTrader 4 history just because you tried to perfect a lower time frame, which was not the best thing. So again, guys, do not compare your journey with somebody else. Of course, you can go out there, give advice, but then at the end of the day, it's just an advice. It shouldn't be, let's say, something that you really need to um, do or change. If I say right now, don't trade more than 1 to 3, that's not what you should do, right? See if you can get 1 to 5 and then create a system around that, right? There was a discussion today as well when people were going on my Go Live and saying like, what's the reason between 1 to 3 and 1 to 5, like why that is there. And I told them that that's the system that I came up for myself, and it worked. And because it worked, I still use it because it created an amazing growth in my portfolio. Could I go on a higher on the high risk reward? Probably I could. 1 to 6, 1 to 7. But again, I'm here for to be consistently growing my account, right? And I outperform many good lower time frame traders by just staying on my route. And I said to them, if 1 to 3, 1 to 5 for your mind might be too low, or might be something that you feel limited with, go out there and create your own set of risk reward trades that you want to do. Experience, right? Go out there, test what works for you. Some of you guys are maybe consistent with 1 to 5 and 1 to 10. Amazing. Amazing. Like, I'm happy for you. But I don't want to see down the road, 2 years down the road, you're going to be quitting Forex because it just doesn't work for you, or it's too hard, or it's too emotional, damaging, right? Because you can't control yourself. Okay, so this is the biggest thing that I want to give you guys, that stop comparing to each other. Especially don't compare with people that are outside of this circle and that are on Instagram. Don't do that, because there are so many people out there that are just fake, right? Showing demo accounts, showing demo rented cars, right? Having fake out lifestyle, whatever, and that influence your mind. Instead of scrolling on social media, pick up the book and read it. Go on YouTube, listen to podcasts, right? Start investing into that, because down the road, guys, what's going to happen is the personal development, it's actually sharpening your emotional maturity. Meaning, people that have 7-figure things completely different than we are doing right now. It's just a change of the mindset. From 4-figure to 5-figure is a different mindset. From 5 figures to 6-figure, it's a different mindset. From 6-figure to 7-figure, it's a different mindset. How do I know that? Well, let's look into the lottery ticket and, people that won the lottery. What happened? Because they don't know how to control that much of an energy being money, they end up being really in a bad place 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road. Because what? They wanted to create a certain lifestyle to show, I got it. I have this car. I'm better than you. I can buy this. I can buy that. But they don't think about like really setting them up with a passive income, right? Rarely there is anybody from winning the lottery and is really creating a wealth for generation to come to live out of that, because they don't understand how the money works. Because there is no mindset that could even trigger that idea of how to create additional sources of income now that they have that such a lot of money. Because now it's not about, okay, I need to find an investment for this money. No. I will buy a Lamborghini. I will buy Ferrari. I will buy watches. I will buy this and that. So it's expands instead of, investment. So again, it's the mindset perspective. So I'm not reading the, books that with stories and all that. I think the last story that I read was Da Vinci Code, and I love those type of themes. But personal development, I'm building the entire library for myself, just about personal development, spiritual wise, Joe Dispenza stuff. And then you have, literally, if you want to have the entire list of books that are related with mindset towards trading, just go and find John Fibonacci on the Go Live session. Go on his channel. Under the favorite, he has an entire session just for the books. And don't go out there and rent those books. No, buy them, invest into that. Because again, you want to go chairman, it's the mindset that is gonna get you there. Is the vision that is gonna get you there. There you go. There is a Tobias already giving you the link. Amazing. That's a good leader, right? That's a good leader. I probably couldn't even pull up the session that fast that he did, but that's amazing, right? All right, cool. So we have 10 more minutes. Let's do 3 to 4 questions, guys. Just type it in the chat if you can. Of course, type it in the in English. If not, Tobias can translate for me. Okay, there we go. Have you noticed a change in trading since smart money has become so popular? Are you experiencing more stop losses, for example, because smart money took liquidity from smart money trader stop losses? Not really. And I don't think it's really changed because there is so much of smart money popularity there. I think it's more because of the bigger play here. Like we have war in Ukraine and Russia. There is a lot of happening with COVID stuff, right? And now with if you haven't seen milkshake theory, I know it's a little bit a funny word, but milkshake theory, just type it in the YouTube, milkshake theory. It's explaining what is really happening with the dollar, why the dollar is so strong. And because of that large quantity of money pushing the dollar in so strongly, that's why we're having a little bit more problematic to get any good smart money trades, is because there are no such a deep retracement that we want. Like market is just going into one direction really fast and leaving a lot of imbalance behind. What are the most important trading to-dos you would prefer to do on a daily basis? Personal development and meditation. Personal development is because I'm thinking like personal development is kind of like, you know, making your axe sharp. So if you want to cut down your tree, you can, you know, get with like a hammer. You're not going to be, you know, eventually you probably would, but it will take so much energy and dedication off of you to really pull the tree down with a hammer. But if you have an axe, it's going to go way faster. And if you sharpen that axe, more axe is going to be sharper, the easier it's going to be to chop down the tree. So that's the personal development. When it comes to meditation, meditation helps with visualization, law of attraction. Because a lot of times what we experience in trade-offs, when we have, let's say, an event or a meeting with a group of people, and we start to really talk about positively who we will become, what type of ideas we have, sharing the dream visions and all that, you create an environment in yourself, that positive environment, that positive charge. And what happened is that you trigger the universe to attract good traits to you. You attract opportunities towards you. So visualization, meditation is so much important. I love Joe Dispenza because he's talking about it, is that even when you feel bad, when you feel uninspired, unmotivated, you know, after a losing streaks and all that, you can reset yourself. And when you really start to think about who you are and really, you know, your mind does not know the difference between, you know, being awake or creating a vision in your mind. Once you create a vision in your mind, you literally could put yourself in that position of who you are in the 5-year period. And because of that emotional state, you then condition your body to think a little bit differently, right? So that's why the visualization and law of attraction is so much important. Do you know any euro indices? You have EX epsilon for the euro indexes, but they are not that clean as the dollar index. That's why we use dollar index so much. How do you feel when you realize the power of trading for the first time? What was your worldwide before that? Or what were you before that? To be honest, I feel at peace. Now, reason for that is because, you know, a lot of people saying, well, look, war is happening. How did that impact you? Are you losing money? No. So when I realized that, well, you know, with the skill set I have right now, whatever is happening out there, I can take advantage of. Now, you know, you could be saying now, well, isn't that a bad thing? Well, why would I let myself think negatively in that position? War is happening in the Ukraine with Russia. Can I do something right now? No. Can I take advantage of it? Sadly, yes. But we have to think differently. If you put yourself in a better position, you can actually go out there right now. Gas are going up, fuel is going up. If you go and invest, let's say trade oil, and you take, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000, 10,000 euros out of the oil, your family can tank probably the rest of the year pretty much free of charge just because of your profit there. So is that a bad thing to position yourself the best and provide for your family? I don't think so. So when I really discovered the power of trading is exactly that. Because of knowing what is happening in the charts and knowing that whatever is happening out there, the news are saying, Ukraine having the war and whatever. And then yesterday they had the biggest YouTube like concert with the full media covering that, do the math. But I'm just saying that when you realize how powerful you really are with the skill set of trading, it's like nothing can put me in a bad position. I will always be in a position to make money, whatever is happening globally, right? If Trump comes back, of course, we can be in a bad position to win certain trades because, of course, the charts are going to move. So again, whatever is happening economically, we can take that to our advantage. Get money in. Everything is getting more expensive. So what happened? We just have to use whatever is happening in the marketplace, make money, and we can actually have exactly the same lifestyle for us and for our family. So that's why I'm saying that trading is the most important skill set for your financial freedom in the future. That's exactly the statement I'm literally breathing every single day. Okay. Do you know anything else like the Your Wish is Your Command playlist? If you can, I would definitely advise to get into the Joe Dispenza. I think it's drdjoedispenza.com, something like that. Take his course. I think it's around $300. The first one and the second one is $230. So like $500 investment. That's the one that I'm constantly listening and watching because he's literally blowing my mind about everything. Or else, and then of course Napoleon Hill. He's a good mentor to me. Like I really read his books so much, like Outwitting the Devil and Think and Grow Rich. Those are the books that are constantly for me, like just running through them. So yeah, those are definitely the books that I wanna like. They are the must that you have to do that. How can I master my trading psychologically? The biggest thing is being aware. Being aware what type of emotions do you feel? You feel anger, you feel anxiety, you feel greed, are you rushing? When you're aware of that, that's where you're really going to be starting to discover the patterns that are triggering for that. So a lot of times what can happen, you can start being mad because something happened on the road when you were driving home, and because of that bad experience that you just had, now you're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to show you that I can do this, and then go out there in the market and try to make whatever sums of money, right? That type of scenarios you start to have to recognize, okay, no, this is the wrong mindset, right? Because think about this. When you have a bad experience or you have a bad emotions in yourself, it's like literally watching the charts through the glasses, and those glasses are kind of like really blurred. So you don't see the picture clearly. So in order to see the picture clearly, you have to, put your glasses off, clean them off, and then come and put them back on. And cleaning the glasses, it's just metaphor for creating a different emotional state of you. Imagine being happy and trading, or being sad, really distressed, really, anxiety, and then try to trade. It's a completely different energy. It's a completely different way of thinking. It's a completely different mindset. So that's the difference that I'm explaining today. That you have to rehearse. At the beginning, it doesn't even make sense to your brain what you're trying to do. But consistently doing it, you're actually going to be finding how you can put yourself in a completely new emotional state in like 30 minutes, like that. You can have the worst day till the noon. Everything is against you. You don't want to do anything. And then by 1 p.m., you can be, life is good. Life is amazing. I'm powerful. I can do whatever I decide to do. I'm a successful trader. And by 4 p.m., you might have, the weekly gain, just because you put yourself in a different mental space. All right, the last one. I'm profitable with smart money, but I recognize a kind of fear always in my back. Also, I'm constantly worrying about my trading results. Maybe like that I'm not good enough once in the future. even when I'm probably up 10%. The biggest thing is you have certain expectation to yourself, which is good and bad, right? They're driving you more and more and more. Now, what helped me to really like kind of like stop to compare myself too much, to rush into certain processes, always trying to process is like, okay, 10% gain. How much is that with somebody who's professional? No, they're making, let's say 20% gain in a month on a yearly basis. I made 10, 15% a month. I'm good. I'm amazing, right? I can breathe. So, and the other thing is just try to worry about your growth on a percentage base. Don't go too much into the euros or dollars or whatever currency you have. Why? We have been conditioned to have a certain expectation or certain triggers inside of our mind from the moment that we have been born. We have been conditioned that if you don't have money, you cannot survive. So when you have a losing streak, you're always focusing, yo, I lost 1,000 euros. What happened is it's not your, let's say, you're not thinking, but your subconscious mind is thinking, what could you do with those 1,000 euros? I could be paying gas, I could be paying fuel, I could be paying rent, I could be paying for IM, the credit, the loan, whatever. Because of that, that's the program that comes back. I could be doing so much with 1,000 euros. And that's where the flight or fight mode is actually triggered. Fight mode is being, I'm going to be trying again. Let me get that 1,000 euros back. And you're going to be starting to increase your risk and reward. And you're going to the worst position ever. Or flight, you're saying, okay, I have lost and I'm going to be stop trading, even if it's Monday. You're going to say, after this, I'm going to come back next week and try to win more trades. Good and bad in that type of scenario, right? But again, just try to put your mind away from the dollars, away from the money. It takes an effort. It's a mental effort. Okay. And I know that you're going to get it because I know that you're consistent and disciplined. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do right now before we end this session, if you don't have DCX, I would highly recommend to get it because we are going to have, well, no, not me, but TradeHouse, Jordan, Zach, and those guys are going to be talking a lot about the crypto world right now in the Power Hour on the DCX package. So I will definitely be there in chat, so we can definitely see there. Guys, thank you so much. Germany, thank you for having me here. Love you all.
Thanks, Rok. Thanks.
And peace out.
Thanks a lot for the value. And guys, put some hearts in the chat for those words. I mean, he talked about so much stuff, and it's just amazing. So I'm just gonna end it here, and yeah, put the best learning you got, the best click moment you got into our group chat, and share it with friends, people in your community, and see you guys the next time, I hope. So, ja gut, jetzt können wir auf Deutsch auf jeden Fall weitermachen. Ich hoffe auf jeden Fall, nächste Woche werden wir auf jeden Fall auch wieder einen mega nicen Speaker am Start haben. Ihr merkt auf jeden Fall über die Zeit, dass es immer weniger Leute werden. Von den 300 Leuten waren jetzt im Peak 80 Leute am Start. Und da merkt man wirklich, wer will wirklich profitabel traden können, wer will wirklich lernen, wer hat wirklich diese Coachability, um wirklich ans Ziel zu kommen. Und dementsprechend, ja, was soll ich sagen? Bleibt auf jeden Fall dran und ich wünsche euch noch einen schönen Abend. Dementsprechend, ciao.